What's cracking, y'all? Happy Saturday. I want to briefly talk about bandwidth and how it's being used. And this idea has was introduced to me at my last mastermind, where Mel actually had brought this up. So I don't know if Mel, if you're watching this, if you did, shout out to you. We were talking a little bit about bandwidth, and I wanted to share how maybe some effective ways of how we can be using our mental, physical, emotional bandwidth, and how I use it. And if it resonates with you, then steal my life hack and you can use it as well. And essentially, the concept to start of bandwidth is, and I should even share, so what Mel had mentioned in the mastermind was how we think we have so many hours in a day to work, which a lot of us do. I thought that way for a long time, but then we have to consider the idea, well, maybe our bandwidth isn't that long. So just because we have 5 hours in the evening, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be doing productive work for 5 hours. Maybe our bandwidth, maybe by that time of the day, we only have 1 or 2 hours of bandwidth left. And, you know, if we sleep 8 hours a day and we have 16 hours a day to be living our lives, you know, we definitely don't have 16 hours of bandwidth. Do we have 4? Do we have 6? Do we have 8? And, you know, everyone's different. So the idea is, as opposed to this concept of not having enough time, which I think a lot of times we use as an excuse, because I think if we prioritize correctly and we are planning, we don't really need a whole lot of time to grow our businesses and live and do what we need to do in our lives and exercise and all these things. You know, sometimes 2 hours a day is plenty, or a few hours a week even. But to stay on topic today, this idea of how much bandwidth do we have and how are we using it throughout our day? Because even if we have 4 hours available, we probably don't have that much bandwidth. And I've been sitting on this seed was planted at our mastermind, and I've been sitting on this idea for the last couple of days about how it shows up in my own life. And I've noticed in the last few days, I've been taking a couple days off. I'm on like a rest week for exercising, so I've been kind of slacking a little bit. I'm sleeping in, staying up a little bit later. I've also had a chaotic week. In the real estate business, I've been up till midnight, 1 a.m. writing offers multiple days a week. I've launched a podcast this week and my website, and launched a coaching program. So yeah, it's been super intense. So I haven't been on my normal sleeping schedule. And as you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, my rituals and my daily habits are the most important thing in the world to me. And I notice it instantly when I fall off track. And that's when I realize just how important it really is. And what I've been noticing is my day is still similar. It's just the sleeping that's been affected. So I'm staying up later, but by the time I eat dinner and finish dinner, come 7 o'clock, maybe 8 o'clock p.m., usually what I'm doing is I'm on the couch, hanging out. I like a little bit of downtime, but then it turns into what normally would be 1 hour. I go to bed at sometimes 8 if I feel like I need a real refresher, or 9 or maybe 10. But if I'm staying up till midnight, the only difference that I find in my life is I'm spending 2 extra hours staring at Netflix at a show I can guarantee you I do not enjoy. That I cannot find anything that I want to watch these days. So most of the time I'm actually hanging out on my phone, whether that's on catching up on my social media for the day or whatever it may be. Point of the story is it's an absolute waste of time, and I have no bandwidth left to be doing any work because I consider that to be my downtime. So with my normal routine, as a lot of you know, which is getting up at 5 a.m., I absolutely love that lifestyle. I've really noticed it since the pandemic, because typically what my morning looks like is I'm up at 5 a.m. I go for a walk for an hour. I do a walking meditation now. I do some affirmations and I plan my day on that walk. And then I come back, I have a small breakfast. And for about an hour from 6 to 7. I go to the gym from 7 to 8, and from 8 to 9 I shower and I have breakfast again. So by 9 a.m. I'm ready to go. But the grocery store is right beside my gym, so after I work out I might run over and just grab a few groceries. And for those 4 hours of the day, like on my walk at 5 a.m., there is no one in the world. There's no one texting, there's no one calling, there's no emails. I mean, I don't even look at that stuff. I leave my phone on airplane mode till 9 a.m. most days. But there's no one out when I go for my walk. There's no one in the grocery store. There's no one in the gym. And I absolutely love that. And sometimes if I go to the grocery store after work hours, just being a part of that normal life drives me nuts these days because I'm so used to having so much space. Like if I go to the gym at 5 p.m., it drives me crazy. It's just so busy and it's just chaos. So a part of that, I think, is being an empath, and I've learned to protect my energy in ways of trying not to be around so many people all the time, which definitely does have a positive effect on my life. I still need friendships and relationships in my life, but I don't need the chaos. So to go back to this idea of bandwidth, I've learned from doing this early morning routine that I am by far the most creative at the start of my day. And if I wake up at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. if I've slept in, if I stayed up till 1 a.m. doing useless things like watching television, I jump right into work at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. I feel bad because I'm running behind, and I don't have a chance for that creative time because I'm backed up by emails and phone calls, where otherwise I have 4 hours I'm exercising twice. I'm going for a walk, I'm exercising, which is also a huge benefit for helping me to think. And I have incredible ideas when I wake up and I go on this walk. It's absolutely brilliant. It's amazing what I can think of first thing in the morning. And then as my day goes on, I get a little bit more and more tired and my bandwidth starts to run out. So never planning originally, but actually that 5 a.m., I'm using that time. That's the most important time for my bandwidth. And from there, very quickly, it feels like some days it runs out, and then I leave my tasks like emails and the more simple tasks as I go throughout the day. So my question to you is, when are you using your bandwidth? Maybe you are someone who if you're a night owl, and I am a night owl, like that biologically, I do feel I still have a hard time getting up, but as soon as I'm out the door and as soon as I'm done working out and 9 a.m. hits and I've done all these things, it's worth it. It still is incredible to me, but I don't get up at 5 a.m. ever with a smile on my face. I just want you all to know that. I am a night owl. That's why in my default mode, I easily stay up till midnight or 1, and because that's just when my body feels like I should go to bed. And if I don't set an alarm clock, I'll always get up at about 8 o'clock. So that's my rhythm. And people will say you should work with that body clock. I argue that statement. And what I've learned in many areas of my life is actually my default mode does not serve me. I don't eat right. I don't eat on a schedule. I don't sleep right. My mindset isn't healthy. If I just let myself live the way that I think I should live, it is not a healthy way for me to live. So I do argue that, I think whether we're night owls or not, it's whatever works for you and whatever makes you happy and productive in your life. For me, that is fighting to get up early and going through that pain for about 20 minutes until I get out the door, but instantly I appreciate it. So I have the mindset of knowing I just got to fight through that. So I just want to ask you to consider this concept of bandwidth and maybe how much we have for, these few hours a day and how we're using them. Is this creative time being used in your evening? Could it be more productive if you were to use it in the morning? And also just how's your schedule? How's kind of your life schedule working? And is it set up to benefit you and make you, not just in terms of productivity for business or anything like that, but happiness? Are you happy with the lifestyle you're living, and is it getting you the long-term results that you're looking for? So anyways, interesting concept about bandwidth and how we use it and how it may not directly correlate to how many hours in a day. And I just thought it was an interesting idea. So take what you want with it, enjoy it, have a think, let me know. Take care, bye.